Shalom. Welcome to another video. In this episode, we'll be dealing with an article dealing with the Gaza Strip. So all praise to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. All right, in this video, we'll be entitled U.S. Authorizes Biometric Concentration Camps in the Gaza Strip. U.S. authorizes biometric concentration camps in Gaza Strip. And this is going to come from an article from this site called Uncaptured Media. All right. Elder Apostle Ramlab was going into a lesson, and he mentioned this article today. And the brother, Elder Hawaii from GMS, North Carolina, also shared this article on the comment board as well as in the chat today. I quickly clicked on the link and saved it in my phone. And when you watch this video, you brothers out there, this link to this article will be on the comment board as well as in the description. So I'll leave two links, same link, but I'll leave one in the description. And if you miss it, it will also be on the comment board of this video. All right. Anyway, let's get into it. It says U.S. authorizes CIA mercenaries to run biometric concentration camps in Gaza Strip. Now, when you get into the word biometric, let's just look it up real quick if we can. See what it gives us. All right, the word biometric from Wikipedia. It says biometrics are body measurements and calculations related to human characteristics and features. See it? Going into Wikipedia, let's read that again. It says biometrics are body measurements. Biometrics are body measurements and calculations related to human characteristics and features. Biometric authentication or realistic authentication is used in computer science as a form of identification and access control. It is also used to identify individuals and groups that are under surveillance. All right, you can go there yourself, read more about it. I'm gonna go right here real quick. Learn Hub. What is biometrics plus how it works, types and pros and cons. It says facial recognition, fingerprints, iris recognition, vein recognition. All right. You've heard of biometrics before, but if you want to do your more independent research, you can do so. All right, not going to go into all that in this video. Let's go right into the article again. It says U.S. authorizes CIA mercenaries to run biometric concentration camps in Gaza Strip. Now, what are mercenaries? So let's see here real quick. Mercenary from Wikipedia. A mercenary, also called a merc, soldier of fortune or hired gun, is a private individual who joins an armed conflict for personal profit, is otherwise an outsider to the conflict, and is not a member of any other. I'm not going to, well, you know what? I will click on it. It says here, and is not a member of any other official military. Mercenaries fight for money or other forms of payment rather than for political interests. Okay. Beginning in the 20th century, mercenaries have increasingly come to be seen as less entitled to protection by rules of war than non-mercenaries. The Geneva Conventions declare that mercenaries are not recognized as legitimate combatants and do not have to be granted the same legal protections as captured service personnel of the armed forces. In practice, whether or not a person is a mercenary may be a matter of degree, as financial and political interests may overlap. So really, in reality, in short, a mercenary is a gun for hire, as it told us. So really, when you deal with mercenaries, they ain't gonna play by no rules. They're gonna just do whatever. Their main focus is money, you see, or other things. Use your imagination. Now, here in the article, a private intelligence corporation billed as, quote, Uber for war zones is preparing to create what Israel hopes will be the model for supplanting Hamas rule in Gaza. Now, when you see this word Israel, it's talking about the Israelis, okay? Jewish, that whole dynamic. So going on, it says here the Biden administration has approved the deployment of 1,000 CIA trained private mercenaries. So you got 1,000 privately trained, right, reservoir dogs, if you will. It goes on as part of a joint U.S.-Israeli plan to turn Gaza's apocalyptic rubblescape into a high-tech dystopia. Now, what is dystopia? Well, let's look that up. Now, the word dystopia, it says dystopia from Wikipedia, made up of two words, dus and topos, meaning bad place. Also called a kakotopia or anti-utopia, is a community or society that is extremely bad or frightening. It is often treated as an antonym of utopia, a term that was coined by Sir Thomas More and figures as the title of his best known work, which in reality, like I said, it's a bad place. Dystopia. And if you look at these images, these are images of dystopias, and you can see how they look. They look terrible, right? Now it goes on here. Let's look up this or read this definition right here. This is from Merriam-Webster's dictionary, dystopia. You can get the pronunciation. And it's actually not working, so don't worry about it. It says an imagined world or society in which people lead wretched, dehumanized, fearful lives. And you can think back to the movie Hunger Games. That will come to mind. All right. Anti-utopia. And utopia is a perfect society. So a dystopia is a terrible society or a bad place. Let's read that definition again.
Dystopia.
Yeah, and then finally pronounced it. It says here, dystopia, an imagined world or society in which people lead wretched, dehumanized lives. And we can just close this all together. So you heard it. Let's keep on going with the article. We ain't gonna make this video real long. All right, so let's read this again. It says the Biden administration has approved the deployment of 1,000 CIA trained private mercenaries as part of a joint U.S.-Israeli plan to turn Gaza's apocalyptic rubblescape into a high-tech dystopia. Starting with Al-Atatra, a village in southwestern Gaza Strip, the plan calls to build what the Israeli Daily Ynet calls humanitarian bubbles, turning the remains of villages and neighborhoods into tiny concentration camps cut off from the environs and surrounded by and controlled by mercenaries. So guess what? If you have something like this, I'm just going to put the thought out there. If you have these little mini tiny concentration camps, guess what's going to be happening to the women? Guess what's going to be happening to the men? See, these soldiers, they're going to do whatever they want to do. It goes on. It says this comes as Israel carries out daily massacres and ethnic cleansing in northern Gaza. And let me say this, we do not support, right? Anything that we're reading about, we don't support it, whether it's against the Israelis, whether it's for them, against the Palestinians or for them. That's not our focus. This is just merely reporting and Bible prophecy. Okay, this is news and Bible prophecy. We don't have a dog in the fight. Our focus is the Holy Bible. Okay, with the Hebrew Israelites, and our focus is the truth of the Holy Bible, through the spirit of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So let's go on here. It says this comes as Israel carries out daily massacres and ethnic cleansing in northern Gaza, enacting the proposal known as the General's Plan, originally crafted by former National Security Chief Giora Eland, right, or Eland, to turn Gaza into a, quote, place where no human being can exist, end quote. Now, there's also a video here. It's pretty bloody. I'm not going to play it now, but when you click on the link and you watch it yourself, you can, you'll see all of that. I'm not going to play it here. It goes on and says the plan approved by White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan calls for the Israeli military to clear out pockets of Palestinian resistance, which it has failed to achieve. demonstrated by the recent killing of Israeli Colonel Hassan Doxa, the highest ranking officer to lose his life in the year-long war. 48 hours after stamping out resistance, they plan to erect separation walls around the neighborhood, forcing its residents and no one else to enter and exit using biometric. It says, and no one else. Let me read this again. 48 hours after stamping out resistance, they plan to erect separation walls around the neighborhood, forcing its residents and no one else to enter and exit using biometric identification under the CIA contractors control. Those who do not accept the biometric regime, those who do not accept the biometric regime will be refused humanitarian aid. So you know what it sounds like? Let's say if they said that this biometric identification is let's say a chip. Let's say if they say you want to the biometric, the way that they're going to be able to check and see if you're you is they're going to insert microchips in everybody. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I'm just saying, think about it for a moment. What if they did that? And then if you refuse it, what would that mean? That mean that you will be refused humanitarian aid, which means what? No man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. It sounds a lot like that. Now, that doesn't mean that's what it is. That's just me saying it, but you can easily see this situation and ones like it are going to come up in the future, or situations similar to this. In my opinion, I think they're preparing for what they're going to do over here in the hoods, the barrios, the reservations, the ghettos. Hint, hint. But that don't mean I'm right. Going on, it says this plan, first reported by Israeli journalist Shlomi Eldar, allocates $90 million for the residents to rebuild their homes and calls to appoint a local sheikh to the position of head of the council. So what they're going to do is find a local sheikh and turn him into a puppet. See? It goes on. It says the plan is a 21st century reboot of Washington's infamous failed strategic Hamlet program during its war in Vietnam in the 1960s. Updated with a modern biometric program, the U.S. military industrial complex has incorporated into its operations since, in particular, the beginning of the so-called war on terror. Did you just hear that? See, so they've been had these plans. They've been wanting to do things like this. It was a failed strategy they tried to do in Vietnam, but they've been planning for it ever since, right? It says again, the U.S. has even created a little-known agency called the Defense Forensics and Biometrics Agency to advance this, right? The DFBA. So then they got a video right here, the DFBA overview. I'm trying to decide if I want to play it or not. I guess we can play it. It wouldn't hurt to play it. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll play this. Listen in.
Are you who you say you are? Determining identity has never been more important to the security of our nation. The Defense Forensics and Biometrics Agency, or DFBA, ensures that the advancements within the Department of Defense Forensics and Biometrics enterprise are being made cohesively and support identity activities. A network of entities make up the biometric and forensic enterprise outlined by the acronym JIIMIA. The joint interagency partners and our multinational portion of the enterprise are connected to 3 biometric hubs for the DoD, DHS, DOJ. DoD manages biometrics collected overseas during military operations. DHS manages the collection of this information for homeland security purposes through means such as transportation and border security, and DOJ manages it for criminal justice purposes within the United States. Internationally, intergovernmental sharing agreements ensure that threat actors and criminals can still be connected across borders. Industry and academia are also a part of the enterprise and provide fast, flexible, innovative problem solving for government challenge sets. The enterprise aims to identify threat actors across all domains. This includes areas of active combat, at international borders and military posts outside the United States. Within the